Okay, as promised, I'm gonna focus on Colonel Danny Knight in this episode. Now, Colonel Knight was at Veritas Tactical the same time Boone was. I met both of them together, obviously. Hold on, my iPad's recharging. Now, Colonel Danny Knight was a career Army Ranger, and his day of infamy was October the 3rd, 1993, the Mogadishu operation. And he says that his book is not intended to replace Black Hawk Down, even though he corrected a couple of minor details. You know, Black Hawk Down was written by a writer who was interviewing guys that were there. This book was written by the guy that was there. So this is a first-hand account. And first-hand accounts tend to be a little more accurate historically. And I realized that a week later when I got home, I realized that I met two men because neither Clinton was qualified for their so-called job. Now, Colonel Knight served 28 years in the Army, primarily as a Ranger. He served with 4 Medal of Honor recipients. Of those, he outranked 3 of them, and of those, he was in direct command of 1 of them. And you very seldom see a guy that knew a Medal of Honor recipient, let alone served with 4 of them for one reason or another. Now, Colonel Knight talks about his experience on the ground, and then he talks about his criticisms, like what went wrong, what should have gone wrong, and we should have had heavy artillery, meaning heavy equipment, meaning tanks. We should have had air support. And I'm like, where did I hear that before? Oh yeah, Benghazi. And he met the Clintons at the White House, and he met Bill Clinton face to face, shook his hand, and told him something. And Clinton questioned his truthfulness, so Clinton is not very respectful sometimes. Now, the pictures I showed with Boone were taken with my camera by the professional photographer. Okay? Here's a picture of me with Colonel Knight. Taken by my mother. And I also have on my Instagram the professional photographer using his own professional camera for the photo shoot. This was my mother taken with her camera, or her phone rather. Mother's phone again. I'm actually on my mother cam because she was able to take a couple of good pictures. And you see me with my phone. I'm uploading things to Instagram on my phone. And this picture was taken by the professional photographer. Now, my mother is in pink, and she's taking the last picture that I showed you. And this was taken by the professional photographer using his camera for the photo shoot. And I took these from Veritas's Facebook page. And I gave them credit, obviously. Now, this is probably the most badass picture ever taken of me, because you have Boone in the foreground and Colonel Knight with me in the background. Now, something occurred to me. This moment was the first time since high school that I was surrounded by such badassery. Okay? When I was in high school, we had a guy 2 years older than me who was a Navy SEAL. I knew him a little bit. We weren't really friends. I would know him around and say hello to him. Okay. Then we had a guy in my class who was a Navy SEAL also. He was one of my best friends in high school. He survived the cold. He served with Woods and Doherty with the SEALs. And then they went on to CIA. He went back to civilian life. And then there's a friend of mine who's a SWAT officer in a neighboring police department now. He was in my class. I'm a badass in my own right sometimes. But not since high school was I in a room with two guys or more with such backgrounds. And even Boom's friend Benny is a UFC instructor, so he's not a wimp himself either. Okay? And when I was in school, the technology was not caught up, obviously. We had phones that were very, very cheaply made, and it was a cell phone. There was none of that shit that we got today. We did have cameras, and we bought them out on occasion. See, when I was in school, the administrators told you flat out, if they see the electronic devices, they are confiscated. And your parents have to come back and get them. And kids, in my day, when your mother had to come to school to get your stuff back after it was taken away, she broke it over your head. So we very seldom took pictures when I was in school. In fact, there's probably more pictures of me taken the last 6 months than there were the entire time I was in high school. So a lot of my friends, I have no pictures with, okay? So I didn't have pictures with two Navy SEALs, or pictures with my friend who was killed in Iraq, okay? So the fact that I'm in this room with these two men, and there's an actual picture of it, is very, very astounding. Because 20 years ago, when I was in the room with people who would become badasses, SEALs, Army, police, there weren't a lot of cameras. And when there were cameras, we didn't really pose for that many pictures like we do today, okay? And there was no Facebook, there was no Instagram, okay? In fact, there's one picture of all 17 guys in my carpentry class, and I think the picture's lost history. I don't know what happened to it. I saw it once at a ceremony, ring night ceremony, and it's gone. I don't know what the fuck to say. Okay, so this is, and it's just, pick this book up if you can, and like Boom, if you get a chance to run into Colonel Knight somewhere, take the chance, okay? Colonel Knight is just an astounding man in his own right. Okay, he was played by Tom Sizemore in the movie, and he is just a genuine badass. And how many guys can say they served with 4 Medal of Honor recipients in 28 years? How many guys can say that they outranked 3 of those Medal of Honor recipients, and they specifically commanded one of them? Not many. Not many at all. And he gives you the blow-by-blow account of what he saw firsthand and what went wrong. And it's very telling, because if you read his book and the Benghazi book, it's the same exact scenario with the same exact family responsible. When someone is on the ground and they say, I need this to complete my mission, give them what they want. And I'll give you a very, very serious point here, okay? I'm going to give you one spoiler. When he landed in Mogadishu, outside of Mogadishu, as soon as he landed, a UN soldier came on the aircraft and asked him by name, and he was from the UN's military's media branch, okay? So the media was alerted to his presence, and they knew him specifically by name, okay? And he figured, if the media knows my name, maybe the enemy knows my name, or maybe the enemy knows we're here. Okay, so that's just one spoiler alert, okay? But they also have a lot of political correctness. In Benghazi, they were like, is it politically correct to have soldiers go into the country with uniforms? Or better with civilian clothes? Okay? Somalia, is it politically correct to have aircraft and armored vehicles in the area? Okay? Political correctness will get people killed. Read the book, he will explain it. Also, I noticed that the whiskey flask was out of frame in the last video. Here it is. I had to buy a token just to show my appreciation for them. And there it is. So if you can get this book, get it. It's a very good read. I read it one day, Sunday. It's not Tuesday morning, like 1:52 in the morning. And if you haven't read 13 hours yet, please read it. And if you get a chance to see either of these movies, please do so. Thank you.